All right, I figured it out. Everybody. Apologize for that weird Bo Nix thing that played. So I'm solo tonight. Raj, his kid, his baby girl is crying because she's a big Bo and Byram fan. Let's be honest. So apologies for the technical difficulties starting between the pipes tonight. I'm here. I'm with you guys. As the Avs win 5 straight, they beat the Sabres 6-3. Hey, if you had that -1.5 in the game, where you're clenching your ass at all, huh? Turns out if you had -2.5, you were good to go because a couple late goals from Marty Necas and then the empty net goal from Gabe Landeskog, sweet justice from the overturned goal from Gabe earlier in this game. That's 3 on the season now. What is that, 3 on the season for Gabriel Landeskog that have been overturned via weird stuff. Tonight it was goaltender interference. Previously it had been offside review. That was a bad call, by the way. Who was it? Was it Drury in the crease? Like, he was cross-checked into, was it Alex Lyon at the time? This might have been before Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen came into the game, but Gabe Landeskog gets his second goal of the season. That's going to start to rack up. It's going to start to rack up as Gabe will get some goals. He will. It's gonna flow like an avalanche is what it's gonna do for Gabe Landeskog. A little bit of a slow start for Colorado, despite scoring a goal less than a minute into the game. They've had several of these this season, and they take a 2-0 lead via Arturi Lehkonen about 5 minutes later. But not many shots on goal for either team, yet it was a 5-goal first period. Very weird first period. Mackenzie Blackwood, and I'll bring this up here from Ben in the chat. Let's talk about how shaky Blackwood was at the beginning of this game. Look, the first goal that Blackwood allows, that Bo and Byram goal, it's a shot from, I think it's Tage Thompson. He's, I think, credited with the primary assist on this goal, that Blackwood somehow just loses control of. And it trickles through him, and Bowen Byram is heady. He follows the play. He goes and crashes the net. We know he can do that. He just stuffs it in. Yeah, that's rust. That's bad. Let's just call it what it is. That's bad from Mackenzie Blackwood. The Jordan Greenway goal, that's his first goal of the season. That was Byram's second goal of the season. But the Jordan Greenway goal that made this 3-2. Avs had a 3-1 lead after a Brock Nelson goal, after the Byram goal. And Greenway just kind of like winds up and fires a slap shot short left side. Those are, I sometimes wonder why dudes maybe you just wind up and fire a massive slap shot close to net and see what happens. Like, it's a different play. You don't see those a lot. Okay. I mean, obviously the opening Byram goal, yeah, that's leaky Blackwood. I will say this, okay, in the third period, Mackenzie Blackwood makes some very good saves. He had this shoulder save. He's kind of, if you're watching me and you're not listening to the podcast after the fact, I'm going to kind of mimic this. I'm going to mime this, okay? He's pushing to his right-hand side, to the right post next to him. And I think it's a Tage Thompson one-time shot, and he gets this shoulder up. It's a really nice sound save from Mackenzie Blackwood. There was another save that he had, kind of this centering pass on a rush to Ryan McLeod. And Blackwood was real firm and square to make a save on a little tip snapshot from McLeod at the center of the ice, short net front. That was a good save from Blackwood. He also had a good one late, too. There was so much that happened late. But there was another, this one, I just remember thinking that's a third good save from Blackwood. So he had 3 good saves in the third period. Did Mackenzie Blackwood. He's settled in. This is his third start of the season. He's 2-0-1 now. The shootout loss in San Jose. The win on Sunday in Vancouver in overtime. And the win here tonight. And yeah, he's been, you can tell that this is a guy who is coming off of injury and who's finding his footing. And there's a reason that Scott Wedgwood has gotten the bulk of the starts even since Mackenzie has been cleared to return to action. He's not at the peak of his powers yet, but that third period was very encouraging to me. 3 big saves from Mackenzie Blackwood. And he gets the win. Scott Wedgwood gets the $2.5 million extension today. Raj is texting me these post-game video clips of Mackenzie Blackwood talking in the Avs dressing room. Bro, I cannot connect my phone to my laptop and upload these and do this show right now. If you are watching, Raj, here's a video of I believe here's videos of Marty Natchez. I think DMAC is probably sending these to Raj. And that was part of it. Like DMAC does all these podcasts and he does some Broncos show and it was like defaulted to his Broncos stuff. That's why the Bo Nix video played. I just thought it was going to be between the pipe stuff to start. Bros, I appreciate your effort. I appreciate your gumption. I cannot play this audio right now. Okay. I can't do it. I'm going to talk about the game. If you want to hear the post-game comments of Mackenzie Blackwood and Marty Natchez, I'm sure they were divine. I'm sure that they had soliloquies of explanations as to why the Avs were able to beat the lowly Buffalo Sabres tonight. Buffalo played last night in Utah. And they actually had a 2-1 lead at the end of the second period. But then Utah scored, I think it was 5 straight goals. And then you have to go to Colorado and play the Avs. You had to play this wagon tonight. There was virtually no universe where Buffalo wins this game. It was impossible. You know, I know a lot of people, they don't like some of the recent DC movies. I actually kind of liked that Flash movie that came out not too long ago. I know Ezra Miller's weird as shit. And I know some of the CGI wasn't great in that movie, but I kind of like the concept of the end of that movie. Spoilers for the Flash movie, everybody. So, you know, the Flash, he can like travel through time because he's super fast and he can tap into the Speed Force, I think it is. You can travel through time. And no matter how many times they go back in time and try to beat the bad guys at the end of the movie, they lose every single time. Every single time. It doesn't matter what they do. It doesn't matter what strategy they try. They lose every single time. Michael Keaton's Batman and the 2 Flashes. There's actually 2 Flashes at that point in the movie. There was no universe where Buffalo was winning this game. It was virtually impossible. It was impossible. I can't believe the Avs they were only like minus 340, 350 favorites, something like that. They should have been minus $1 million tonight. There was no way. There was no way that the Avs were losing this game against one of the worst teams in the league, playing on the second night of a back-to-back at altitude. Utah's altitude too. We got a second. It's not altitude too. It's not, you know, channel 900 or whatever on Comcast. Altitude 2. Altitude 2 is my favorite channel, by the way. I watch Altitude 2 when nothing's on. I love Altitude 2. We got 2 altitude teams now. We got Utah and we got Colorado. You got to play both those teams 2 nights in a row, and Utah's no slouches. And then you got to go to Colorado, who's the best team in the league. Yeah, there was no universe. There was no universe where Buffalo won this game. It was a little, it was a 3-3 game. Tage Thompson scores on the power play with 5 minutes to go in the second period. This was a weird one. Not the goal itself. That's, Tage shoots a one-time shot, deep left side. It's his 7th goal of the season. Tage can score goals. He actually had a play at some point in this. Maybe it was after that. I think it was after his goal that he scored, where he kind of dangled around an Avs player and he tried to backhand flip it. This was a good Blackwood save too. I don't think I excluded this one. Blackwood actually catches this with his shoulder as well. Kind of looked live like Thompson shot this backhand over the net, but Blackwood actually did get a shoulder on it. I thought when Tage made that dangle move, Buffalo was going to get a 4th goal. Let me go back to Tage's power play goal, though. Deep left side, one-time shot on the power play, beats Blackwood. Look, Tage is a good player. He beat McKenzie. That's fine. I really only put that opening Bowen Byram goal on Mackenzie Blackwood, where he can't corral a shot that just should have been covered. Okay. But the whole reason that Buffalo goes on this power play is because Bowen Byram kind of, maybe inadvertently, I'm going to assume inadvertently, because Bo is not that player. We know Bo. He's not dirty. He's not, we know Bo. We've seen him. We know him. He's not that player. He, I think, inadvertently kind of knees Gabe Landeskog in open ice in the Sabres D zone. And Nate goes down. And Nate is pissed. I was thinking at the time, I was like, do you think Nate knows that it was Bowen Byram? Yeah, Nate knew. Nate knows who everyone is at every given time. He's got a high hockey IQ. Miss Moxie May in the chat. But do we know Buffalo Bo? Has he changed? Did Bowen Byram turn heel? Not Bo. No, Bo, no. Say it ain't so, Bo. So he kind of catches knees with McKinnon, and McKinnon's pissed. And Nathan McKinnon fucking takes his stick like he's Aaron Judge, because he's a right-handed. I'm going to go with a right-handed swing. Aaron Judge is a right-handed swing. And he just fucking, unloads full cock. The cock of the swing, everybody. Full follow through. He just whacks Bowen Byram. When I saw that out of the corner of my eye, I was like, oh, they're going to call a slash on that. I don't know. Maybe that was interference on Bo. It looked inadvertent to me. It looked just kind of like a little tangle up. Dude, Nate, I don't know if I've ever seen, I'm sure it's happened. I can't remember the last time I've seen a player just full baseball swing. Bam! He slashed the fuck out of Bowen Byram. And so Nate had to go to the box. And Tage Thompson scored on the ensuing power play to make it 4-3. But never fear. Gavin Brindley is here. And just under 2 minutes later, a little breakout pass from Josh Manson. And Brindley's got some space on the right side. He just decides, okay, I'm going to wrist shot this thing far side. Leaks through Jukka-Pekka Luukkonen, who took over for Alex Line. Alex Line got pulled 2 goals into this game. That's hilarious. Sabres were down 2-0, and they were just like, nope, get out of here. 6 minutes into the game, down 2-0. They're like, nope, that is a short leash. But yeah, Gavin Brindley, man. And so I brought up Scott Wedgwood's $2.5 million contract, 1-year extension. He was a free agent at the end of this season. He signed a 1-year extension. Gavin Brindley was an RFA at the end of this season. He signed a 2-year extension. Did I say 2-year extension for Wedgwood? If I did, I apologize. 1 year. Free agent after this year. Wedgwood signs on for next year at $2.5 million. Brindley 2 more years after this year at like $875,000, under $1 million. I did say 1 year. Okay, thanks, Kale. Kale's Lucky Charms. Just want to make sure I got that right. Dude, these dudes could have gotten more money. Like I tweeted this today when I saw Wedgwood's 2.5 for 1 year. Because Raj and I were talking after the last game on the last Between the Pipes. You know, Wedgwood gets the win against the Ducks. He's the first star of the game. Gabe Landeskog should have been the first star. Whatever. And you see, even though Wedgie's in his early 30s, it's kind of like quarterbacks in the NFL. Like teams are desperate for goaltending, you know? Like Wedgie could have signed like at least a 2-year deal for like $4 million. But he took 2.5 to stay with the Avs for next year. Now it's just a 1-year deal. And kick the can down the road, and he'll be a free agent after the 26-27 season. Good God, it's almost 2026. Where's the time going? But like he could have made $4 million next year and secured himself a longer term deal with like 4-ish million. At least I think so. He's been one of the best goaltenders in the league this year. He's been the Avs 1A. He was the one until Blackwood got back, and he remains the one. He's been the one since Blackwood. Now, I know Blackwood's coming back from the injury, and he's working his way back, but it really did. Like, Wedgwood, for all intents and purposes, is the one right now. Like, he could have gotten more money. He could have gotten term. Gavin Brindley, and I know it was, you know, his coming out moment was one game on Sunday, and he has another moment here tonight, you know, where he starts playing top 6 minutes on Sunday night in the third period, and then he gets the overtime winner. And he'd been playing on the fourth line before that. You know, people know who he is, though. He was a good college player. Like, if Gavin wanted to, he could have bet on himself, not signed that 2-year extension with the Avs right now, played out the rest of the season, gone to restricted free agency. Shoot, when I saw the news come down that Brindley signed the 2-year extension, I told Raj. I was like, I was assuming it was going to be something like $2 million. It was under 1. So, whether it's Wedgwood or Brindley, I mean, these dudes, they just want to play for the Avs. They want money, sure. Don't get me wrong. Brindley getting $875,000 next year and the year after, it's a lot more money than I'm making. Scott Wedgwood's $2.5 million next year, so it's a lot more money than I'm making. It's good money. Like you can live off. You can live and then some off of even that. But they could have gotten more, and it is a business. I mean, how many times in sports do you see, like, you're really just kind of trying to secure your bag? But these guys, the way I'm seeing it at least, and I could be wrong, but my read on it is they want to play for the Avs. They don't necessarily care about money. I mean, they want money, but they're not taking this to free agency. They're not creating a bidding war. This isn't Mikko Rantanen, you know? These are guys who just are like, oh, you're okay. I'm going to help the team. I'm going to help our cap situation because I understand this is a cap sport and we want to try to win. Damn, dude. Tip of the cap. That's respectable. So shout out to Scott Wedgwood and Gavin Brindley. And look, maybe there is a long-term payoff there because if you're playing for the Avs, then your numbers are going to be better. And even though you are kicking the can down the road a little bit, your numbers are going to be better. So when you do ultimately hit that open market, you can make more money. But I mean, sports are weird. You can get hurt. A number of things can happen. It's why I said just a few moments ago, you want to secure that bag. But these guys, it speaks to the culture here. Speaks to the culture of this team. Speaking of that, and I noticed, let's see, late in this game, who went? I believe it was Parker Kelly went to the box. Yeah, Parker Kelly, because it was one of their better penalty killers. Parker Kelly, high stick, goes to the box. You're without Nichushkin. Valeri Nichushkin is week to week. So at least 1 week, probably longer than that. Feels like it's gonna be a couple weeks at least. That Valeri Nichushkin is out, and he's actually going to factor into this story here. But Valeri Nichushkin, as I've talked about, is an excellent penalty killer. He's their best forward penalty killer, and he's their best. And he's out. They don't start every penalty kill with Nichushkin, but when they really want to kill one, the train's out there. And Arturi Lehkonen is usually right next to him. Okay, so Nichushkin's out. Parker Kelly's in the box. He's another one of your better / best penalty killers. If it's not Nichushkin Lehkonen out there, you're usually seeing something like Kelly Drury. Well, Nichushkin's hurt. Kelly's in the box. Those are your two of your best penalty killing forwards in the box. Back half of that kill, you know who was out there? It was Bardakov. That was the first run that I've seen Zakhar Bardakov get on the penalty kill. And so I saw this tweet today. A story, Zakhar Bardakov talking with some outlet like overseas, because Bardakov is Russian. And I read most of it. There was a lot. I'm a millennial. I didn't read all of it, but I read a lot of it. Okay. The part that stood, it was about his like adjustment to being in the United States, being from Russia, in an English speaking country, and now he's in Denver. The part that stood out to me was that he's leaning on Valeri Nichushkin, and he'll like take car rides with Valeri Nichushkin. And one thing that Bardakov said was Nichushkin is like preaching to him like mindset and focus, and I think the word was discipline. How about that from Valeri Nichushkin? That's who he's turned into, because we know what happened with Val. So something clicked. There was he was on 2 strikes, two strikes, 3 strikes, and you're out. So Val is now Mr. Discipline, and he's trying to bestow that upon Zakhar Bardakov. That's awesome. That's awesome. And yeah, Ben in the chat says Bardakov wants more time. He also did talk about that in that interview. Bardakov's like, man, I'm used to playing 15 to 20 minutes a night in Russia. I'll play a little in the first period and then I'm benched the rest of the game. And he said something like, I talked to my agent about that, and he's going to talk to the team. Zakhar Bardakov, you're probably not watching this tonight, okay? What I will tell you is welcome to the NHL. You got to earn your stripes, okay? I would not complain about lack of ice time. you really should just be happy to be here. But hey, good to see him get some penalty kill minutes with a couple of their top PKers out tonight. And yes, I mean, the moral of this story is Miss Moxie May, love that Val is on the discipline train. Because I did see somebody say, like, oh, Val's out. Uh-oh, what's he going to do? Uh-oh, he's hurt. You know what's funny? I never think about it. Like his second go around, like I was surprised when it happened again because it was like out of mind. I was like, he won't do it again. And then he did it again. And I'm even at the point where I'm like, he's not going to do it again. Hey, he's on the discipline train. Okay. And then somebody reminded me, hey, could he do it again? No, he is mentoring Zakhar Bardakov. Love to see that. Love to see that from Valeri Nichushkin. Marty Necas put this game out of reach tonight. He scored the opening goal. What a long distance pass from Cale Makar on that opening goal. Cale, I know nobody's better at the breakout pass than Cale Makar. Nobody. Those deep 2-line passes. Thank goodness the 2-line pass is no longer a penalty. Great look from Makar. Necas splits the D, gets out in front. He scores the opening goal. And then Necas scored the clincher, the goal that made it 5-3. This goal is created by Nathan MacKinnon. Nathan MacKinnon went beast mode. I was wondering, like, if this was going to be a frustrated night from Nate after he slashed the ever living shit out of Bowen Byram. If maybe Nate was just frustrated. We're only up by 1 against Buffalo. Now I've slashed Bo and it's 3-3. And if Nate was going to kind of get into that piss Nate mode where he was a little irresponsible, you see that from time to time. But I mean, this is an older, wiser Nathan MacKinnon. He's the best player in the league. And he channeled that anger in a good way. I mean, the north-south from Nate entering the zone, going towards net, that ultimately he goes behind net to feed Necas. I mean, that was Nathan MacKinnon on a mission. He was. Well, you talk about the bulldog skating of Nathan MacKinnon. That's what that was right there. And that ended the game. Nathan MacKinnon finds Necas, and that ends the game. Landeskog gets the empty net goal. And yeah, this game went all said and done. When you look at the final score, 6-3, maybe you weren't expecting 3 from Buffalo, but yeah, that's about how tonight should have gone. All said and done. That was a scheduled win and then some for Colorado, and that's that. That's all she wrote. So Nathan MacKinnon, it was just that 1 assist, right? Yeah, just 1 assist. He did have 8 shots on goal tonight. Did Nate. He was on one tonight, but just the 1 assist late from Nathan MacKinnon. As we look at the NHL lead in points, Nathan MacKinnon leads the NHL with 33 points. Wouldn't you know it? That didn't take long. Connor McDavid's in second. Leo Carlson, Connor Bedard, and Macklin Celebrini are all tied for third now. That's a hell of a 3-way tie for third. Those are the 3 best young players in the league. 2 first overall picks, 1 second overall pick. Those are the 3 best young players in the league. They're tied for third. Obviously, we know what Nate's been doing. We saw the Carlson-MacKinnon matchup the other night. And the 9-point weekend that Nate had, the handful of points he had against Anaheim, he gets another tonight. Nate's up to 33. And yes, the Oilers have been struggling. In fact, they lost tonight. They lost in Columbus. But wouldn't you know it, Connor McDavid's in second. Connor McDavid is in second. Let's see. Because I'm hosting solo and I have corporate stuff I have to deal with. Man, Raj's baby must be crying like nobody's business tonight because he's still helping out, but he just cannot hop on the show. But he's texting me something right now. He's telling me D-Max and Q if you want him. I'm going to tell him I don't see him. It might be because I created a new thing because when I opened the last one, it was all of D-Max Broncos stuff. And I was like, I don't know what this is. What is this? I'm trying to do between the pipes. So I just created a new thing. Maybe I didn't need to do that. I think there was actually this little button to take you behind the scenes that I could have hit where I just slide down to between the pipes, but I didn't realize that at the time. Usually Raj does this stuff and I just hop on. So I'm sorry, DMAC. I would email him the link, but I simply don't have time. I simply don't. Where was I? Points leaders in the NHL. Nathan McKinnon, Connor McDavid. That's what it's going to be. And that was actually my preseason prediction was that, I mean, it's just a two-man race. It's going to be a two-man race. And you know, the chalk would be McDavid. But Nate's a sleeper. I mean, don't underestimate Nathan McKinnon. Even though Connor McDavid is the de facto, if you're just looking at it from a base level, best player in the world, don't count out Nathan McKinnon. So that's what it's going to be. I mean, it's just like that. Bam. Connor is second in points, but Nate's not going anywhere. Nate's got a 6-point lead on him. And Nate's team, first of all, Nate's team helps him put up a little more points. It's just a better, more well-rounded team. Even though McDavid has Draisaitl and some other good players, you know, the talent around Nate, you know, and Nate, it's funny. Remember when John Butchergross said that Nate's not known for his playmaking? No, Nate's known for his playmaking. Look at the fifth goal of this game. Sets up Natchez. So Nate can get these assists. It's why Nate is a point guard while also being a bulldog. You know, Nate sets his teammates up, but you got to have guys who can finish. Marty Natchez can finish. Arturi Lehkonen can finish. Other guys who he might find himself playing with from time to time can finish. So it helps Nate get assists when he has quality teammates who can actually finish and score the goal. And then just team record in general. If the Oilers, even though McDavid is going to rack up points, he's going to do it. But if the Oilers continue to struggle as a team, and it's funny, the Oilers are in third in the Pacific. I mean, they haven't even been playing that well. But, you know, some of these teams are just unreliable in the Pacific Division. So, boom, Edmonton's in third. But they're 9 points back at Colorado. If Colorado just wins, if they get the 1 seed and it's not close, and Nate is ahead of McDavid or even close in points, like team record should mean something. I don't know what the odds say. I'll try to pull them up right now. But Nate, even if he's not the favorite to win the Hart right now, he should be. He should be. He should be. We all know Cale Makar is the favorite to win the North. That thing's almost over. That's the separation there. It would be almost over with the Hart if it wasn't for Connor McDavid. Right now, Nathan McKinnon is the favorite to win the Hart, as he should be. Like I just said, I hadn't even looked at it. Plus 160 for Nate, plus 250 or plus 240 for Connor McDavid. And it's going to be a two-man race. Jack Eichel's plus 550. You're lighting money on fire if you put it on Eichel. The only two players who have a shot are Nathan McKinnon and Connor McDavid. That's it. It's a two-man race for the Hart. Rocket Richard Award. Draisaitl plus 290. McKinnon plus 450. Man, if Nate won a Rocket, he didn't score tonight. But that's something that this dude could do. Man, this is funny. Here are your leaders in goals in the NHL. First is McKinnon at 14, despite not scoring tonight. Tied for second, Cutter Gauthier of the Anaheim Ducks. He's part of the reason that Anaheim's played well. It's not just Leo Carlsson. Tied for second with 12 with Gauthier is Marty Natchez. Your two leading goal scorers in the NHL. On the same team. Yeah, Marty Necas, he's been great. He's been great. I love yeah, this is what it was. I think it was was it the first he got either the first or the second intermission interview on Altitude TV tonight. And they asked him about the Landeskog goal that was overturned, the BS goaltender interference. So dumb, so dumb. I mean, Drury's, I talked about it earlier, but I'll say it again. Drury's in the crease, fine, but he gets cross-checked into the Sabres goaltender at the time. Was it? I think it must have been Jukka-Pekka Luukkonen, and that line was pulled after 2 goals. And okay, Drury's already in the crease, but he's still cross-checked into the dude. And it's a great, this is what Gabe does. This is what he did on his first goal of the season against Anaheim. He vacuums rebounds, he puts them right back in. I know Drury was already in the crease, but damn, that's a terrible call. That's a terrible call. But Necas was asked about it, and I loved his answer. I can't remember exactly what it was, but he's just so pro Landy. It's amazing how Necas hasn't even been with his team for a full year, but he's completely bought in. The respect he has for Landeskog, and who doesn't have respect for Gabe Landeskog? How could you not have respect for Gabe Landeskog? Necas signs the contract, and one of the first things out of his mouth was, "Now I can focus on trying to win a Stanley Cup." And he obviously has not won a Stanley Cup, playing with the Hurricanes all those years. And so if you've never won one, you want one. He knows he's on a team that can win one. And for the guys on this team who have already won one, they're not done. And it kind of goes back to what I was talking about with Wedgwood and Brindley, from my perspective, taking a little bit of a pay cut. Like, guys want to be here. Not just because, now this is a huge reason that this team can win a cup and the talent level is insane. But these are just good dudes. Like, the atmosphere is good. Like, Gabe Landeskog's back. That dude's personality is infectious. And so, when I hear Marty talk about Gabe, and he hasn't even played with him that long, it's like, oh yeah, no, but I get it. Because that's the impact that a Gabe Landeskog has on you. And these guys, they're just so focused. And the vibes are good. And I mean, Wedgwood's interview with TNT, they're funny dudes. Makar is the nicest dude in the world, unless Connor Garland's in front of him. McKinnon expects a lot out of you, but as you should, if you're actually trying to win. Great leaders like Devon Taves. Can't believe Taves hasn't scored yet. Those were the two, Landeskog and Taves. Landeskog now has 2. Now it's easier for a forward. Taves is going to get off the schneid soon. That's coming. That's got to be coming. Sam Girard was back tonight. There were a couple moments from Sam. Nothing crazy, but a couple moments where I was like, oh, it's good to have Sam Girard back. I thought Jack Ashawn played well. I thought Solovyov was okay. But now they're solidified again at the D-core. Every single defenseman had an assist tonight. How about that? No goals for the defenseman tonight, but every single one of them had 1 assist. That's crazy. I don't know if I've ever seen a box score like that, where every single defenseman, all 6 of them, had 1 assist. Sam Alinsky had that shot. Sam Alinsky, he continues to shoot from an area of the blue line that gets through for a tip or a rebound. We've seen what Brent Burns does, setting dudes up from the blue line with these like shot passes. Obviously Makar and Taves. Manson can do it. And then Girard is just so underrated. We've said it for years on this show. The way he slows the game down when he gets the puck, He takes his time. He's patient because he's a vet now. It was noticeable tonight, even in his first game back. It is very telling. Like, that is extremely telling that all 6 defensemen had 1 assist, exactly 1 assist. It's as solid and deep when everybody's healthy of a two-way, offensively and defensively, two-way blue line. I mean, it's easily the best in the NHL right now. And it's the best in years in the entire league. I mean, it's 1 through 6. That's as good as you're going to get. Makar and Taves, Manson and Burns, Girard and Malinsky. Now, it was Girard and Manson before Girard got hurt. Burns moved up. Burns has played well. Girard's just coming back from injury, and it's Malinsky's earned minutes. You're still getting minutes if you're playing with Sam Malinsky. That's his. You don't miss a beat. Doesn't matter which D pair is out there. There's no Calvin DeHaans. There's no Oliver Shillingtons. There's no, usually, like, your 6D. Sometimes you're, like, concerned about your 6D, right? Nope. 1 through 6. They don't miss a beat. Good to have Sam Girard back. Appears Logan O'Connor is a little further off than we may have thought coming into this past weekend, because I saw a report that maybe OC could have played in Canada. But no need to rush him when you were 11-1-5 and the best team in the NHL coming into tonight, even with Nichushkin going out. They called up Taylor Makar. Taylor Makar had 3 shots on goal tonight. He had a couple looks. He has a size. Looks like Raj is going to come on the show. Hell yeah. All right, before Raj comes on this show, I'm going to text him back real quick. I'm just going to tell him I saw this text and that he's good to come on. I'm going to say word. The baby, he said the baby's down. She's down is what he said. She was just all so excited for the Avs tonight. She was throwing a fit at how good the Colorado Avalanche were. It's too much of a fit. Okay, before Raj comes on, I have to go on my rant. So I didn't notice this on TV. Chat, can you help me out? I didn't see it, but I saw the tweets about it. When did the wave break out tonight? You guys know my thoughts on the wave. I fucking hate, unless it's a blowout. Here's Raj. Okay. Raj,
hi guys.
On my rant, bro, and I've just broken so much of this game down. We'll get your thoughts as well. When did the wave go down tonight? I need to go on my wave rant.
Like, it was during it was 3-2 and Buffalo was on the power play.
Okay. So 1-goal game. Like, watch the fucking game.
It was fourth wing night. Whatever that
means. So there were a lot of cashes in the building, a lot of casuals.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's my read on that.
That's fair. Look, the only thing if you want to do the wave, I will set up the event. I will book an arena where you can just go do the wave. You can go do the wave all night long. Just 120 straight minute session of the wave. If that's what you want to do, you're at a hockey game. Okay. You're there for the hockey. Actually, Raj, I booked during COVID in 2020. I got the inventor of the wave, or at least the self-proclaimed inventor of the wave, on with Nate and Andy.
That's Can't remember so impressive.
Yeah, what was his name? It was something.
I couldn't tell you to save my life.
Crazy George Henderson. His name is Crazy George Henderson.
That tracks.
He first introduced it at an Oakland A's game in the Oakland Coliseum in 1981. Okay? It's 2025. Don't get me wrong. If it's a blowout, I like the wave. It's passé. tip of the cap to Crazy George that's actually pretty impressive. Whoever thought to do that in the first place, like, hell yeah. Don't do the fucking wave in a close game.
It gives a team like Buffalo, who's on the second leg of a back-to-back with nobody playing for them, no Rasmus Dahlin, no Jason Zucker. It gives them some sort of idea that, like, hey, this is a trap game. Not everyone in the building, and it's not the onus is not on the fans to make sure that it's not a trap game, but it does give that energy of like, oh yeah, no one really cares that we're here. And then before you know it, you're kind of in a dogfight with Buffalo, and then it's tied, right? Tage Thompson scores in the power play in his one-timer, and you have to get bailed out by Gavin Brindley in a beautiful not only is it a beautiful shot, Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, if you look back at that, UPL is in the corner. Like that, his angle was so bad there, and you kind of got bailed out. Now, the Avs were far and away the better team, and it is so very clear. But I think that the energy just kind of got taken out of the building for what I was watching. Again, I was very distracted.
Yeah, you were. So, just your biggest what's your biggest takeaway from the game?
My biggest takeaway is that Nathan McKinnon's going to make Marty Necas a Hall of Famer. I'll say it right now. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but I want to be on the record as of November, what is it? November 11
I
today?
tweeted something similar a couple weeks ago. Like
November
Necas is
13th.
going to make the Hall of Fame at this rate.
Um,
Look, man, it was Mikko Rantanen and Nathan McKinnon merchant to a degree, but hey, man, there's no asterisk for being a merchant. Okay.
no, we care about wins and points and Stanley Cups, and they get to play together for at least the next 6 years. And like Nate's not going anywhere. I believe Nathan McKinnon is the Colorado Avalanche until he retires. So I'm going to say they play together for at least the next 8 years, which is the extent of Necas's final year on his contract this season, and then the next 8 seasons after that. Um, I'm not saying Marty Necas by himself is a Hall of Famer. I'm saying Marty Necas playing 8 years alongside Nathan McKinnon is a Hall of Fame hockey player.
To go two conversations at once here. Miss Moxie made the players do notice. I know for a fact
Yeah.
that the players notice it.
Yeah, you like to think that hockey's played in a 200 by 85-foot bubble, and while it is close to a bubble because it is covered by plexiglass and boards, it's almost impossible not to feel the energy in a building. That's the reason why you can feel momentum shift, certainly in the playoffs when you're on the road and a home team scores and you feel like, oh crap, this is squeaky bum time. You can feel the momentum shift when you kill a penalty at home in the playoffs and you feel that huge boom on a big penalty kill, and then the next 2 minutes of 5-on-5 feels as though that you have the ice tilted. Energy matters. So yeah, I do believe that hockey players feel the energy in the building. Yeah, I thought it was an ill-timed wave. um I my biggest takeaways from the game is that Nate just looked great. I loved the combination of Colton, Nelson, Brindley. Gavin Brindley at $875,000 is a goddamn joke.
I talked about it, Raj. We talked about how we thought. Like I thought when I saw the Brindley 2-year extension, I said on this show, I was like, that's 2 million ish. No, it's under $1 million. How about Wedgwood today? 2.5 million. We were just talking about how he could hit the open market and a team could look at him and say, we're struggling at goal. Let's bring in Scott Wedgwood. Dude, I thought, this is what I said before you got on, he could have gotten at least 2 years somewhere in the $4 million range.
Four feels a little high, but I think you're in the relative ballpark. I think it could have been like if someone needed a goalie, and we threw out the names of Edmonton and Toronto, and who knows what those teams could have been at the end of the season. Like even you could throw Buffalo in there if Buffalo doesn't believe in UPL moving forward. Devin Levi got pulled after 3 shots tonight. and then
Oh, it was
UPL
Devin
came
Levi?
in.
Why did I think it was
Oh,
Alex
sorry.
Lyon?
No, 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 it was
I guess
Lyon.
it
It
was
was
out of my
Lyon.
mind.
Sorry. No,
It
no, no.
was
It
Lyon.
was
Okay.
Alex Lyon. Similar last names, in terms of L's and full
Sure.
names.
And the
Um,
number of letters in name. Yes.
yes.
In fact, very similar.
Um, I Buffalo could have been one of those teams. I think it would have been one of those deals that you give someone hoping that they are the same player that they were in front of a very, very good and deep and defensively sound and offensively juggernaut laden team. Um, I firmly believe that Chris McFarland and Joe Sakic saw the writing coming on the wall that if we go to free agency, we can't afford him. And the other thing that you have to look at is, dude, when you find a backup goalie that is not only competent in net, but is just a dude. He's one of the freaking guys. And not all goalies are like that. Many goalies are fucking weirdos. And Scott Wedgwood is not. Scott Wedgwood he's a locker room glue piece. And I think that if you find that type of guy, you want to hold on to him. It's a great balance to have in the locker room, and I is $1 million on top of what he's making this year more than I think that I would have been comfortable at the beginning of this season. Yes, but when I look at like Brinley's extension, I go, of course you can fit it.
No, I think 2.5 next year for Wedgwood is a steal. Maybe 4 is a little high. I don't know though. I think teams are so goaltending desperate, and he's been great. He's been great. That if you're another team across the league, why would you not look at that? We've seen other teams look at other teams' backups and being like, "Oh, he came in, he played well. Let's give him a shot." And Wedgwood fits that bill and then some, based on how he's played so far with this team. So I don't know, 3.5, whatever. I think that he left a little money on the table, but it appears to me that these guys, whether it's Brinley, whether it's Wedgwood, they just like it here.
Yep. It's funny. I've been talking to a lot of people. I was like, what dirt does Chris McFarland have on Gavin Brindley? Like, what dirt do only the Columbus Blue Jackets and Avalanche know about Gavin Brindley? And I say that obviously with my tongue piercing through my cheek.
Sure.
Like, I thought that extension was going to come between $2 and $4 million at 2 to 3 years to get him to UFA. What blows my mind is that it doesn't even get him to UFA, Springer. That deal is a 2-year deal on top of this. And in 2028, he's a restricted free agent, which means the team has another year of team control. That it's insane. Like, and I thought his agent was going to be some throwaway agent. His agent's the best guy in the game. It's Pat Brisson. You know whose agent is Pat Brisson? Nathan McKinnon.
Well, hey, you know what? You want to play with Nate. You want to play with when you're here, when you get in the building and you're in the room and then you start playing with these dudes, you're like, I don't really want to play anywhere else because these guys are really good at hockey. They care. They're determined to win, and they're really good dudes.
Yeah, it's the locker room's great. And again, I say that from afar this year because this is the first time in 8 years that I haven't
You can tell. You don't even have to be around to tell.
You know, when I get back full time in December, I will be more so around the team.
I mean, Gabe Landeskog's back. I mean, dude, we were around Landeskog he's the best. He's the best.
I see this from Ben that CMAC recruited Brindley in Columbus. He did not. Gavin Brindley was a 2023 NHL draft pick, and Chris McFarland has been with the Avalanche since 2015. So there are no ties to the Columbus Blue Jackets and Chris McFarland and Gavin Brindley. That has there's no bearings on.
You know what's funny is that wasn't Jared Bednar. Obviously, this is many years ago now, but Jared Bednar was the AHL coach in the Blue Jackets organization, right? It's Cleveland, or Lake Erie, whatever it was.
The Lake Erie Monsters. They used to be the AHL affiliate of the Avalanche.
They were Blue Jackets affiliated, right?
I still think they are currently the Blue Jackets.
When Bednar was coaching there, but that predates. But there are ties. It's funny that, there are ties between the Blue Jackets and the Avs. And here, Gavin Brindley. And it's funny, like, I was thinking about this when I was like thinking about how I was going to rant about the wave on Between the Pipes, because I know I'm right. I know I'm right about the wave. Like, if you've been listening to me, I don't even want to get into it too much now that you're here, Raj. Um, but I know Connor McGahee and DJ Triple T are like, I'm pro fun, and I love Connor and I love
It's
DJ
funny,
Triple T.
Connor's pro fun, but he gets upset when the Avalanche play Taylor Swift as their win song in the locker room. So Connor's pro fun only when it's Connor's fun.
They've just dug their because they've just dug their heels in too deep on the wave take. Because here's what I was going to say is I will admit when I'm wrong. So, like, if you're pro wave, and granted, I'm for it in blowouts, but if you're pro wave in any other situation, you've dug your heels in on an incorrect take, and it's okay to admit that you're wrong. I will show you the way. I was wrong. It's okay. You can admit sometimes that you were wrong. I was wrong about the Charlie Coyle and Miles Wood for Gavin Brindley trade. I have always been a Charlie Coyle fan. I liked that trade when they brought him in. He was a great piece for Minnesota and Boston, unheralded, veteran player, plays the game the right way, has size. I was not sure that putting your chips in 21-year-old Gavin Brindley was the way to go over Charlie Coyle. I was wrong. That's it. I was wrong.
He's so good.
He's great.
He's amazing. He's a good fit. I love that player so much. Yeah, that's my second take. So first take is Nathan MacKinnon is going to make Marty Necas a Hall of Famer. My second take is the Brindley, Colton, Nelson line looked good. It looked like it energized Brock Nelson. And then I suppose my third take is the power plays back. The movement on the power play this evening, I thought was what I expected the whole season from the Avalanche. It is constant puck movement. It's grade A scoring chances. Now, do they find a way to bury this evening? Uh, no, but they were more than good enough, and that's what I want to see is the consistent opportunity to score. They were right there. Um, I loved the power play.
Okay, I'm glad you brought up the power play because I had not brought that up yet, and I did want to get to it. Yes, I thought it was good. It is still weird to me, even though I get it. Like, there was one power play tonight where I'm noticing, maybe there's a couple of them, but one in particular where Nate was really either on the right wing or net front, and I'm just not used to that. There were other moments where Nate was able to get on his left side and Necas would be left front or Necas would be short left side. But when you are playing Necas and MacKinnon out there on the same unit, then MacKinnon is going to have to float around. And sometimes I feel like maybe he's getting hemmed up too far on the right boards fighting for a puck, and now he's trying to find his way around. Whereas, you know me, Raj, I want Nate on that left side at all times. But right now, with this setup, that's just not going to happen. Nate is going to find himself in other positions.
Yeah. So I think the way to do that is watch Edmonton's power play and then try and watch the new Colorado power play in the same vein that you watch Edmonton's. Now, it's not going to work at the same clip because Edmonton's been working with that same unit for the past 3 straight seasons. And they do everything right. But I firmly believe that's what they're trying to do is just move Nathan MacKinnon all over the ice constantly because what is Nathan MacKinnon at his core? He's a rush player. And what we saw in the first power play tonight, the very first shot on goal that they had, it was a double drop back pass in the neutral zone, and Nate just went through the middle of the ice and took a shot by himself in the middle of the hash marks. Did it go in the net? No. But I'd like to see more of that rather than gain the zone and then pull up 5 feet inside and try and make 2-3 passes within a 5-foot window.
And I know you've been saying that, but most power play goals are scored via the setup.
100%. And I totally get that. It feels as though that you have lost the opportunity on the power play when you don't set up and get those 2-on-1s, those grade A scoring opportunities. But I believe a grade A scoring opportunity is Nathan McKinnon shooting from in between the dots at any
That
point
was a
in the game.
really good zone entry, like McCarr dumping it to Natchez, who then dumped it to McKinnon, and it was like this double slingshot of creating this like bevy of speed for Nate and space for him.
You can see things starting to go right. Is it fixed yet? No, but I can see the like if it's if you failed your first math test and then you went to a tutor and you got a C minus on the next one and then you got a C plus on the next one. Is it fixed? No. Are you going to pass the class at this point? No, but you can see the trend is like, "Oh, I'm starting to get trig." And then eventually you get a B plus. And then eventually you get an A minus and another A minus. And at the end of the semester, you've got like an 84 average. And you know what? Not only do C's get degrees, but B's get chords. And I think that's where the Avs are going right now with the power play. I know I'm late to the show. Have you talked about the funniest fucking thing that's happened?
Well, I would say that was when Nathan McKinnon slashed the fuck out of Bowen Byram.
That was the funniest thing I've seen an Avalanche player do since Nathan McKinnon launched a helmet at Connor Garland's teeth. That
I talked
was
about it.
laugh out loud. And it's so funny because it's the penalty that brings the game from a 3-2 game into a tie game. And in any other situation, you guys know me, I'd be losing my mind. What are you doing? You're a leader. How could you do that in this situation? It's game 18 against the Sabres. You know you're going to win it eventually. It was so damn funny when Nate was on his ass and turned around and two-handed Bowen Byram. Nate was like mad the whole game for some reason. And I don't know what happened, but it was laugh out loud funny.
And so my answer is he knew. He knew that was Bowen Byram, right? Like,
I think so.
Because Nate's hockey IQ is off the charts. He knows who everyone is and where everyone is at any given time, even though that was his old buddy. And I think that was very inadvertent from Byram. Like, they kind of got their knees hit. Yeah, you could take it as fuck you. You're trying to hurt me. And that's certainly how Nate took it. Because, dude, I mean, oh my God. That was a wind up and a
I was cackling when it happened, man. Laughing as hard as I could possibly laugh when it happened. And if that was if like the Avs lost that game, I could have been like, well, at least Nate got a two-hand on Bo on his butt. Like I'm cool with that. If he does that against Dallas, I'll probably be upset about it. But if it's Buffalo, like be my guest.
And hey, dude, he he was on. I guess I didn't really notice Piss Nate until that moment, but I felt like he was kind of the rest of the game after that play. And maybe it's because he's like, we're only up fucking 1 against Buffalo. And now, great. Now my slash has made it a tie game. But he was the final, the icing goal, not the Landeskog empty netter, but the one before it. Like, that's Nate. That's as aggressive as I've seen him all season, and we've seen it over the course of his career, but that is as aggressive this year as I've seen him just go north, south, get the fuck out of my way.
Yeah, he had that shift that I noticed. There was one little shift in the end of the first period. Like the Avs were up and they were dominating the game at this point. Like Nate just scores 52 seconds in. He's got 2 points before the halfway mark of the period, and the Avs are fine. Like sure, the one goal that I think Blackwood wants back is the first, the one that goes off of his chest, and then Bowen Byram's just sitting there. Like it's not a good goal on Blackwood. Outside of that, they're up 3-1. And I noticed a play where like McKinnon was the first forechecker. I think it was on Bryson on the short side of the Buffalo net, and forechecked and then gave him like a cross check on the shoulders behind the play for no reason. And I was like, who pissed him off? What happened there? There were a couple of times that I saw in the second period where McKinnon got taken off the ice on an offense. It was either second period or third period. I honestly can't remember. Again, distracted. His line got taken off the ice on an offensive zone power or face off, and Nate just stayed on the ice for a little bit. He was the last guy to change, and it was like the final Buffalo player changed, and then 7 seconds passed, and then finally Nate got off the ice because I think he was making a point at Bednar, being like, "Keep me. Why are you taking me off? I'm right next to the net. Don't take me off the ice." And then Colorado wins the draw. There's a whistle. 10 seconds later, there's another draw. The first line's back out there. And I guarantee he went back to the bench and was like, what the hell? Like, but why are we doing this? He was just pissed off tonight. It was weird.
Maybe trying to send a message to his team, like, don't overlook Buffalo. Perhaps. Let me make it crystal clear that this game matters, and I'm going to be a son of a gun, even if to get that point across.
I was thinking tonight, I don't know if you've gotten into this, and tell me if I'm late to the party here. Have you had the conversation of who won the Bowen Byram trade?
I have not had that conversation tonight.
Because if you take the Bowen Byram trade tree, now the original Bowen Byram trade, you lose. You can make the argument that both teams lost the Bowen Byram trade. Although Bowen is still playing for Buffalo at this point, and Casey Middlestat is no longer an Av, so I guess Buffalo gets the check mark there. But what happens after that? Casey Middlestat then becomes part of the Charlie Coyle trade, and then Charlie Coyle becomes part of the Gavin Brindley trade, which not only moves the Coyle and the Wood contract off the books, but brings in Brindley and a second-round pick. So now that we have largely the full extent of the tree, who wins the trade?
Colorado.
I think at this point it's Colorado, especially with that second round pick, because you can weaponize it.
Sure.
But even without that second
even
round
without
pick,
it, if you're telling me Brindley for Byram, and here's one thing I brought up, Raj. Like, get this. This is fascinating to me, actually, because Sam Girard's back tonight. All 6 Avs D-men had 1 assist. No more, no less than 1 assist. Every single one of them. And when I look at so my point as it relates to Byram now is you don't need Byram because Sam Malinsky has turned into something.
Malinsky's a player.
He's damn good. In fact, dude. Okay, so Bowen Byram, I want to be careful here. Bowen Byram played 24 minutes-ish for Buffalo tonight. Had 4 shots on goal. He did get that goal, but it's because it was Blackwood's worst play of the night. One of the worst plays Blackwood has had as an Av, to be honest with you. I like Bo. Like, he's not their number one. Like, Rasmus Dahlin's their best defenseman.
Dahlin's their one.
Dealing with a terrible
situation.
If I'm Malinsky versus Byram, I don't think it's far off.
As of right now, I don't think it's far off. Like, the pedigree, Byram still has the higher ceiling. Like, there's still a level, and you guys know, after listening to this show for now going on 8 years, I believe that it takes at least 4 full years for defensemen to really get the league. And the guy that I always go to is Victor Hedman. And Victor Hedman truly became future Hall of Famer Victor Hedman like 3-4 years into his career. So do I think that Byram still has the ability to take that jump? Yes. But I also believe that Byram and his camp thought he was already at a level and worth a level way before he ever got there.
Because he was, what, a 4th overall pick, something like that?
4th overall pick. He was the number 1 rated defenseman in his draft. He was at a value pick for the Avalanche at number 4. Really good pick. But I think from that moment on, his camp always believed that he was an $8 million defenseman, a $10 million defenseman, and he hasn't gotten there yet. And I wonder if that's always going to stick against him, is that he thinks he is better than he is, and therefore the game will never elevate to the ceiling that I think he has, that he showed when he was a Vancouver Giant in the WHL.
Yeah, so considering that, I look at the 6 D-men that they have when they're healthy, and they were all healthy tonight now that Girard's back, it's as good of a 6-man group as I've seen in years I mean, for 1 through 6, and I'm not just talking Avs, I'm talking the entire NHL. Two-way, not offense and defense. It's as good of a 6. So considering you filled that 6 and Gavin Brindley and a second was the ultimate return, and we've seen what Brindley's done early. Yeah, dude. I mean, I like Bo. Bo helped this team win a cup. But there's no doubt that the Avs won this trade and the overall situation. There's no doubt.
Yeah. As of right now, I think it's for me, it's a little bit shy of that, but I think it's Colorado right now, especially with the ability. For me, it's you shed the Wood and the Coyle contracts, and you were able to get deeper.
I
And
do like
as a
Charlie
result,
Coyle. I do
as
think
a
he's a damn good player. But and he wasn't that expensive. He really wasn't. But Brindley's even cheaper, and he's younger, and he's playing great, and he's probably only going to get better. Yeah, it's a
he's so good.
revelation.
He's
It's
so good.
incredible.
He goes to the hard areas. I think he's got a little bit of prick in him too.
He
I'm so
does.
excited to watch him play and get better. And he's so young and so cost controllable. And this 2-year deal allows them moving forward to go out and get some more pieces that they need. Do you need to add another middle 6 forward? Do you need to, in the off season, do you need to add another defenseman if someone comes out onto the free agent market and you have the ability to do it? It is it. It's a good move, and I think they win the trade because you're able to move on from those 2 contracts. I really do.
Well, I mean, you got a guy who's making under $1 million, who's playing at a middle 6 level, and that's. I mean, you're going to win a lot of trades.
You know who he is, dude? He's your next Arturi Lehkonen. He is.
Yeah, probably even better than the Drouin comparison I gave because Drouin's a little lighter defensively and Lekkonen's that scrappy
200-foot player.
two-way guy. Yeah.
Yep. Is he gonna wow you like physically? No, but he's gonna go to the right areas and like look where Lecky scored his goal from tonight. He scored his goal
Yeah.
with his toes on the crease, and
That's
that's
what he
where
does.
Brindley's going to score a lot of goals. And you don't have to be huge to be effective there. It helps right there, right? It helps to be Ryan O'Reilly in his prime and be a big bodied guy with those types of hands. But Arturi Lehkonen has shown that at that size you can do it, and I'm excited that Gavin Brindley for the next 3 seasons, at least in Colorado, would not only have the opportunity to prove that in the regular season, but he's going to have the ability to, or at least the opportunity to prove it in the postseason when everything matters. Now, is all of this going to translate? I don't know, but the data that is on the table in front of me says there's a really good chance that it will. And I love being in that position right now.
All right, Raj. Islanders Sunday night. I mean, they're better than Buffalo.
They're better than Buffalo.
But 2 days rest. Dallas, look what Dallas did tonight. 7-0 in Montreal. And I like
Dallas is
those
playing
halves.
well.
So Dallas is they're still 4 points back of you. It was a hold serve night for the 2 best teams in the league. That's what it is. They're the 2 best teams in the league, not just the West, the league. I mean, they're better than Buffalo, but unless something weird happens, how does Colorado lose to the Islanders on Sunday night? I don't see it.
The Isle just went into Vegas this evening and won 4-3 in overtime. If Elias Sorokin is Vezina version of Elias Sorokin, then that becomes a hard game. I'm not scared of any one of their forwards. I'm not scared of Matt Barzal really anymore, although he's very talented. I'm not too scared of Bo
He has
Horvat.
not. There was a couple 3 years ago, I thought Barzell was going to be something, and nope.
There's one player on New York that scares the living crap out of me, and he's 18 years old. If you guys have not watched Matthew Schaefer play hockey, you are about to have an absolute joy or terror watching him against the Matthew Schaefer. Dude, I think he needs to be on Team Canada. I think he needs to be the 6th or the 7th defenseman on Team Canada come February. Like, The last time that they did this to put a teenager on there in either his first or second year was Drew Doughty. And Drew Doughty was an integral part of winning a gold medal for Team Canada in his age 19 season. I think Matthew Schaefer needs to be on that team. He is awesome. Just wait for it.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to watch it. I mean, he had a goal and an assist tonight. His numbers are damn. It's really some of the best numbers you'll see from an 18-year-old defenseman. I mean, and Kale spent a few years at UMass, and this kid's doing it at 18. But it's kind of like McKinnon versus Carlson. Like, as good as Carlson has been, as good as Schaefer's been, McKinnon, you got to show Carlson there are levels to this thing. Kale, you got to show. Now it's your turn to show Matthew Schaefer that there are levels to this thing. But yeah, you're right. I'm excited to watch him play because I haven't watched a full game of his. I'm excited to watch it.
He's the truth. I'm really, really juiced up to see that. I think they have a great opportunity to sweep this homestand. You're a better team than the Islanders. You're a better team than the Rangers, who are still trying to figure it out right now. Although the Rangers are a far better team on the road than they are at Madison Square Garden so far this season. I'm not going to look forward to that Rangers game quite yet. But there's also the added factor of like Patrick Waugh's in the building, right? Like the dude right here above my right shoulder is coaching in the building against you. And we talk about psychopaths, right? We talk about guys who bring an energy to either a team or a locker room, and not many players in the league outside of Patrick Waugh bring that type of intensity. I don't know how much coaches can affect it all that often and consistently, but when it's Patrick Waugh at Mile High, then I'm probably going to put that little check mark in New York's side of the equation.
Yeah, but I mean, how ironic is it that is this the first? This has got to be. This is the first matchup between Bednar and Waugh. It's got to be.
They didn't play last year?
Waugh took over late in the year, right?
I don't know off the top of my head when they played. I couldn't tell you.
I don't think we've had Bednar versus Waugh yet. Because we would have talked about that.
Because did he coach in between Colorado and New York? No. I don't know. Maybe they played. I don't know if they did or not. Maybe someone in the chat knows.
I'm sorry. Look, Patrick Waugh is an Avs legend, but in terms of NHL head coach, dude, it's not. Jared Bednar, he's so good. Jared Bednar has his finger on the pulse of this team. So, yeah, Patrick Waugh, NHL legend. He's been okay so far with the Islanders. And if you're Jared Bednar, like, look how far everything has come since Patrick Waugh gave up on this team, quit
August.
just before the season started.
In August.
And the dude who took over for you turns out how Jared Bednar is not been in Jack Adams' conversation it's criminal.
I mean, if they like win a President's Trophy this year, I think he'll finally get a nod, unless Quenneville brings the Ducks to a top 2 seed in the Pacific.
Yeah, see, they always go with the new, if you're a new first year coach, which is funny because Bednar in his second year got that team to an 8th seed.
Yeah, that should have been the year that he did it. From 48 points to an 8 seed.
Yeah.
Should have been the year that he got it done.
Dude, he's the best coach in the NHL. I'm sorry. He's the best coach in the NHL.
I don't know if I can put him above Paul Maurice, but I think I do like Paul Maurice, top 5, and I think he has a conversation for top 3.
I think he's the best.
I think he's the best fit for this team. I'll give you that. He's the best fit for this team. I don't know if he's the best.
I think that's I agree with that. I think he's the best.
That's fine. I think everyone's entitled to their
my personal taste.
I don't think I would have any other coach for this roster. And I think he works for Nathan McKinnon, and that means too much.
That's fair. Let's Let's see. Also, let's see. I was gonna pull this comment up in the chat real quick as we're probably winding this thing down. Where was it? Because it's not just Waugh coming to town. There we
Jonathan
go.
Drouin.
Drouin and Cal Ritchie. Cal Ritchie on the fourth line for the Islanders.
Yeah, one of those two dudes is going to score, right?
Let's see. What was Ritchie? Ritchie was, what trade was he? I can't even, why am I blanking
It's the Brock
on
Nelson
this?
trade.
Brock Nelson. Yeah, it makes perfect sense because Nelson was an Islander. Nelson scored tonight. See, that was my concern with Gavin Brindley. Like Cal Ritchie plays.
What a sick play that was. The Nelson goal was so dirty. The little touch from Brock. The little touch from Ross Colton was so sweet, dude.
And I hadn't really talked about that yet. I'm glad you brought that up. That was like Ross Colton. What a cheeky pass. Like that was a underrated video game pass right there.
Yeah, it always gets me excited when you see professional players get like giddy over a play. Like it was Colton turned around so hard to Nelson. It was the type of reaction that they went, "Holy shit, I can't believe that worked. I cannot believe that worked." It was beautiful, man. What a gorgeous play.
Yeah, he fooled everybody thinking he was going to shoot, and then it was just nope, little boop,
little touch,
right to Brock Nelson, who's playing his former Islanders. So
I don't know what Owen Power was doing on that play, but it doesn't take away from what was a beautiful touch. There were two goals that like New York was the first two goals of the game. I don't know what the Buffalo Sabres were doing. Like the seas parted, and it wasn't even a bad change. I looked back at the video of the Natchez goal. There were 5 Sabres on the ice. Just no one was in the middle of the ice. They were just watching Cale Makar, and Cale Makar made a 90-foot pass.
Yeah, I don't know why they didn't have Natchez marked. How do you let Marty Natchez get behind you?
It was insane
in that situation. There were 2D right there. And they both just watched Marty Natchez go right through them.
It was like there were magnets in the neutral zone dots. You just saw these two Buffalo Sabres go
right into the outside. They parted the seas for Natchez.
And the Natchez went right down the middle. Yeah, that's the game I was kind of expecting to see tonight. You know, I wouldn't say trap, but trap-ish. And did you want to be a little bit better defensively? Sure. Did you want a little bit better goaltending? Sure. But you can afford to have these games against the Buffalo Sabres.
Yeah, got the win, and I see no reason why this isn't a 4-0 homestand. I just see absolutely no reason. So,
hell yeah.
We'll do it on Sunday night. We'll do it on Sunday night, Raj.
We'll do it live.
We'll do it live. It's one of my favorite broadcasting moments of all time.
Oh, all right, bro. Well, thanks for letting me hop on late. I apologize.
Yeah, man. Yeah, take us out. Take us out like you always do.
Well, that's going to do it for us tonight. Avs win 6-3, their 5th straight win of the season. They continue to pace the NHL as the #1 team in the league. For Mark Springer, your host this evening, I'm Alex Ryan-Emmy. We'll talk to you guys on Sunday evening after the Avs host Patrick Waugh and the New York Islanders. Be good. Have a great weekend.